Hi YouTubers. Right, Monday morning, beautiful day in London or South London. Uh, Almost sunbathing weather for late winter. Now, this is a piece of £90 Saunders rough. It's a very good paper, but it's quite lightweight, but it's not lightweight in quality. So what I'm going to do, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Probably have some water in it. I'm going to wet the paper all over. I'm going to use my older method of clouds using burnt umber and ultramarine. See how we go. It's a very good grey, and you can more umber, the more light in the cloud. But I want to put in my usual sienna, my raw sienna wash. Make sure your paint is really dissolved. Okay, put a little bit of red in there, I think. I've got about a 30-degree angle on this. And now we're going with a bit of grey sky. I like grey skies. So a bit of umber. I've got a big wodge of it there. Right, a bit more umber. Okay, so we'll a bit more ultramarine in there. Right, there we are. That's a bit different. Right, I'll just reclip that, finish my tea, just let that soak in a bit. Okay, I'm going to give that a dry now, then I can crack on with whatever I'm going to put in the back. So I'll just mute the sound. I haven't dried it right out. I want some sort of softness. Now I'm going to use the medium Ron Ransom hake now. There we go. These could all be got off of eBay. What was I asked the other day? Oh yeah, Frank Clark's brushes. Well, I got them from his website, from his channel. They were selling them to the 1999 including package in the UK anyway. I don't know what they would be to go to the States, but he's pretty big over there, so I will imagine it's quite reasonable. So there we are. I do like those brushes. I use the rigger quite a lot, and I use the large hake. The small hake, well, is okay. I'll put a bit of background in. So do we want do you want a cold picture or a warm picture? We want a bit blue. Let's go fairly high with the horizon. A bit too much behind where I'm going to put trees and stuff. So let's have some greenery in there. Similar to one I think I did on Patreon on Saturday. I did the acrylic for you. Now I'm going uphill with this, so I've got to rectify that. I very rarely draw the horizon. I muck about with it a bit later. Now that's quite good. So let's have some blue and some burnt sienna. Look, quite thick. I've done so many of these, but they all end up differently. We're not machines. I was looking in a cash converters. It's like a second-hand electronic stuff, and they had a very nice Panasonic camcorder for £50, but it didn't record in MP4, which I want for Windows, because the MOD that my other camcorder records in is MOD, and you have to convert it, and it's all a bit of a chore. Go up a little bit higher there. We'll I'll put sort of islands or peninsulas in here. I'm more than happy that you leave comments and ask for any information I can give specifically that I haven't covered. Oh, let's go up here. Okay, so a bit of sienna in there now. Lighten it up a little bit. a little bit of reflection in there. I can scrape out a few options, some harder edge stuff in there. Right, let's get a card. And okay. Let's put in a bit of rocky stuff. I didn't think this would scrape out, but it does. Not too much. The Fabriano £130 that I like to use as well, that lifts out very, very well. So boulders on the edge. That's about as much as we're going to lift out there. So I'm going to dry that off now, and I want to do some dry brush here. So bear with me. I'll just mute the sound. You can see how much lighter that's gone. I still forgot to drink my tea. I'll do something in there. I've got up a bit high, probably because my horizon was going uphill. But that needs to be bone dry before I put a bit of detail in that. So, right, hake wet with the sky colour. I'll make sure it's well mixed. Let's get that down there. Go a little bit higher there, I think. Right, let's put in a little bit of a. Shall we put a bit of reflection in there? I think we should. Okay, so that hopefully will show still water, and the dry brush is the sky on the broken water. Right, okay, let's put in some foreground now. I'm going to use, I'll carry on with this brush. Get some nice beachy colour, so a bit of raw sienna, bit of umber. a bit of burnt sienna in there as well. It's been nice and warm. Bit of green, just red and blue. I mean, yellow and blue. Been over to Wilkinson's this morning. That in the UK is a sort of mid-range hardware store. Very, very good. I get my beer mix from there because I do like my homemade beer, and I make it a bit stronger than as it comes in the can, just by using a bit less water. It concentrates the flavour and the strength, of course. Okay. Going to. I want to get some grasses in there, so I'm going to use Frank Clark's brush, which doesn't come to it's a slightly ragged edge. It's a lovely brush to use. It holds a lot of water, so you've got to be careful with it. But we want to get some grass, some marshy grass, a bit of sienna with that, burnt sienna. No, there's not enough water. I've got 35 paintings for sale on Etsy, on my Etsy channel. I leave a link to it. Go and have a look. There's no obligation. You can see what been up to on there. Been on there for 3 weeks. I've only sold 2. It's very slow. It takes a while, I think, to get a clientele. Okay, get some Payne's grey in there. It's a bit of dark green. Look, you've got this sort of raggedy look of marsh grass. Just dragging the brush down. Just a hint of grasses. Okay, well, let that go for a minute. Now while that's drying off, so I'm going to put a bit of scrubby trees, I think. Using the medium hake, I'm going to put some bluey, well, just a very light green over what I've done here. But if you do this too quickly, it will it will expand and it won't look very nice. In the UK, we've got the lakes. A lot of the land, although it's moorland, it can be very bleak. It's farmed. This is a bit blue now. Very weak. Just a cooler colour. Put some trees in there. See, even that is starting to expand a bit. Put a bit of a tree on that. Some impressions of wood. go with blue. See, this wasn't as dry as I'd hoped. It's a very useful brush, this one. Let's put a little bit of edge to that. Let's warm up a little bit of it. Bit of sienna, burnt sienna that is, with that blue. Well, just showing hedgerows. Right, I'm going to strengthen up that softness there a bit. I'm going to use some blue and some sienna. Quite thick. Right, put some, where's my, this is my green rigger. That's the Frank Clark rigger. Comes to a beautiful point. My other rigger is comes with chisel end, but that is beautifully, and because if you put a bit of pressure on and spread the bristles, you'll get quite a wide. I'll show you. Quite a wide mark. You've got to put plenty of water on it though. Oh, and then just gradually feather it out. Right, just dry the hake. And dip it in some burnt sienna, a bit of Payne's grey. probably overdone that, but I'll just put some more bit of harder stuff in there. You never know how they're going to turn up. I don't want it to go up into the air there. Now let's have a bit of slightly off-coloured bit of green. I've got some gouache here. You don't want it so white, just a bit off white. This isn't white, this is sort of off white. Can put a yacht in there. Lovely. Can I use a my little square brush? Where are you, little square brush? There somewhere. Bear with me. Oh, my mate Alan Owen sent it to me. I think it's quite a small brush and I quite losing it. I just want to pick out a couple of those boulders. I only use it for watercolour, I wouldn't use it for anything else. Oh, here it's right in front of me nose. This little one. I just want to put some off-white. So there's a bit of umber in that. No, I don't like that. Oh, coffee. Put a little bit of darker. wouldn't have to do this on the Fabriano. Okay, I'll let that go. It's not too bad. I reckon I could probably put a few little bits of highlights in there, in that bush. Got a bit hard there. Okay, I'll give it a signature. It's probably just about worth it. Sign it. Always sign your work, because you might not like it, but somebody else might. Or if it's that bad, paint over it in acrylic or something. I had a couple of barbecues last Friday and Thursday and Friday. Not a good idea. I do suffer from COPD, but I love being out in the sun and cooking outside. But I'm going to use gas, I think, in future. Right, okay, let's get one of these, put that on. I don't think that's a very good colour for that. I've used the lighter one. What I've got this double mount here, let's put that on. Might look better with the bigger one, because it's quite much larger. Let's try that one, that's better. So we've got the salt marsh, or the marshes, not necessarily salt marsh, but a bit of grass sticking up, reeds. Well, they don't look much like reeds, do they? There we are. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you like the idea of like the blue and the burnt umber for sky, for clouds. That's probably a better colour. I probably should use just a bit more ultramarine. But like a morning, isn't it? A wintry or autumn morning in Lakeland. I call these things Lakeland because we've got the English Lake District, which is very beautiful. But my paintings, I call them inspired by the Lake District. I have been there, but I make these up as I go along. So I'll find a title for it. Yeah, I think that's quite a good reproduction. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye bye.